Okay, so, the audio for both parts 1 and 2 were all weird and messed up, but, there wasn't really anything I could do about that, and then, so I just had to go with it, but then, on top of that, once I had part 2 cut up properly and everything, I lost the file to it as I was uploading it for some stupid reason. And because of that, here I am having to completely redo part 2 and an hour of footage gone. Well, almost an hour, but oh well.
Hey, baby. What do you say you and I go cruising on this A-Grab Zoomer?
Rule number 1, I don't date animals.
Ah, you don't know what you're missing.
Listen, if you need something to keep you busy, my father always talked about an ancient precursor pipeline hidden deep underground. Some of these pipes end in vents from which eco flows freely, and some have been capped off so that the eco is sealed back. There must be a way to turn the capped vents on. I traced part of the pipeline back to the Forbidden Temple. Maybe you should look there for some type of switch.
So, anyway, oh jeez. So that's a thing. Look at the bite out of this boat.
Size of the bite that lurker shark took out of the fisherman's boat? We best stay way clear of them. I don't think we can tackle a creature that dag nasty.
Oh jeez. And of course I'm getting freaking updates and stuff. Go away! Go away! Just gonna go around talking to the villagers, seeing what missions they have for us.
Don't tell me that you two have problems as well. The first I hear of monster sightings near the village, and now this. See those gears up there, boys? See them? See how they're not moving? That means our village has no power. The eco beam coming from the jungle temple has been interrupted. And boys, everyone's too frightened to go out and find out what's happened.
Did you pay the bill?
Yeah. Oh, you're funny. Now look, if you two fix the eco beam, I'll give you a power cell. Oh, and another thing, if by any chance you're interested in making a contribution to my re-election campaign, I might be willing to part with yet another power cell. The minimum contribution is a very modest 90 precursor orbs.
What was with that sound he was making? Go. Then also, what's that logic? He's all like, oh, the minimum contribution is very modest, 90 precursor orbs. And then when you give him the 90 precursor orbs, he freaks out and he's just like, oh my god, thank you so much. I don't get it. I don't understand. This right here is Jack's uncle quote. I don't really know the story with him, but let's talk to him.
Well, hello there, my dear boy. You've caught me at a most inopportune moment. I was to set off on my journeys yesterday, but I seem to be a spot short on the old precursor orbs. I would have pledged my word that I had 90 of them, but I gather that your young friend, you know, the little annoying, miserably ugly one, might have just pilfered them as a sort of a spot of fun. Anyway, would you be kind enough to loan your dear old uncle 90 precursor orbs so he can get underway? I would offer you a power cell in return.
Okay. Let's talk to this guy.
Hey! Little furry dude! Oh, I thought for a moment you were my muse.
Your what?
Haven't you ever seen a muse before? It's a little glowing squirrel about your size, full of spunk, and crazy as a lark.
Oh, I get it. Like a sidekick.
As a matter of fact, without my muse, I just can't sculpt. But with her around, I see beauty in everything, you know? Right now, I couldn't chisel my way out of a box. I think she ran away to that misty island. I just hope she's all right. It's worth a power cell if you bring her back to me.
Wait a minute. We are not going back to Misty Island. Are we?
How did she get to Misty Island? I'm just now thinking about that. I've never wondered that before. How on earth did a little rodent or whatever get all the way to that island over there without running into the shark, at least? First of all, how on earth would you swim that distance if you're not an aquatic creature? Secondly, how would you get there and avoid the giant FU shark that's always in the water? I never thought of that before. How did the Muse get over there? Oh, dang it.
Oh my, what a horribly sick little bird.
You don't look so good yourself, lady.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were a spotted orange-bellied rainfree. You know, yesterday I saw some terribly vicious creatures capture a mother flut-flut near the beach. Now there's this poor little orphan egg sitting in a nest at the top of the cliff, and I can't get to it. If you could climb up there and push it off, I've piled some hay down at the base to catch it safely. Do an old lady a favor, and I'll give you a power cell.
Okay. Sorry, I would have had more to say, but
Gotta milk those yak cows. Oh, it's you. Oh, just resting my tired bones. I've been trying to get those ornery yak cows back into the pen all day. Some strange creatures tried to steal them earlier. You think you could help an old man and try to get them back into the corral?
considering I've already recorded all of this and I had to start a whole new save file and everything, like I'm kind of playing this passive aggressively. What is with those faces? Seriously, these are called yakkows? Like, what is with their faces?
That lazy farmer owes us a power cell. Let's go talk to him.
I hope I don't get in trouble with PETA for beating these.
Gotta bring in the crowd. Ah, well done, my boy. You actually got those flea bags back into the pen. Now I can sleep in peace. Take this power cell for your trouble.
Anyway, right now I'm just, this is going to be a 100% playthrough because, Precursor Legacy, I don't care who you are, if you haven't 100%ed this game, if you've actually, like, played it, you know, like, all the way through or whatever, if you haven't 100%ed it, there's something wrong with you because this is literally this game has literally the easiest 100% in gaming. Like, you can literally 100% this game, like, start to finish, no slack. And,
Who awakens the oracle? Wait, one of you has the light within. From before time, I have watched and waited for the true hero to return. Present to me 120 precursor orbs for each power cell I contain.
the other games, I mean, sure, because, you know, for, you know, those 100%, you're really going to want to handle those in post game. But for Precursor Legacy, you gotta 100% this one because, like, it's the easiest 100% in, like, all of gaming. And you accomplish it in the initial run. Over there was Fire Canyon, the place that Kira was talking about, or that Kira and Singnos were talking about. And this right here is the Forbidden Jungle. It's where we're going to be heading next. So I'm just going to be getting the last scout fly for Sandover Village, and we'll be right back here. Okay. This took a shamefully long time to find.
All right! You found all the scout flies in this area.
Okay. With that out of the way, this is the Forbidden Jungle, and you want to head here before you go anywhere else, or before you go to the beach, because of what Kira mentioned earlier, the eco pipes that are trapped up, because if you go to the beach first, you're going to run into an area that has a blue eco vent, and you won't be able to do what you need to do there for it. So you want to come to the Forbidden Jungle before you go to the beach. And fortunately, this isn't a game that really has, I guess what you would call an upgrade system, whereas I guess you could say the other games do. But This is a game that while I do scold people for not 100%ing it, this is a game that you don't actually have to.
What do you have in the basket?
Nothing to talk about. Them monsters patrolling the ocean took a bite out of me fishing ring, and now they're gobbling up me catch. No matter what I try, I can't seem to catch a single fish in this river.
Woo! Maybe it's your breath.
You think you can do better? Try scooping up river fish with a tiny net. I'll give you a power cell if you can catch 200 pounds of them critters. And then I'll let you and Shrimp here use my speedboat to get to Misty Island. You want to try the challenge? There are two types of good fish to catch. 1 pound fishies and 5 pound fishies. If you miss 20 pounds of good fish, then I'm gonna take me net back from you. There are poisonous eels in this river. Catch even a one of them boogers, and you'll poison the whole darn catch.
Here we go. Come here, little fishy. Controlling this... Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Controlling this with the, control stick isn't the greatest feeling. This is actually one of the few things I prefer doing on the PS Vita version because you have the touchscreen. But, the net actually has kind of slippery controls. And so, like, if you have two fish that are, like, on the complete opposite side of the river or whatever, you're not going to catch both of them. So, you shouldn't even try. The net just doesn't move fast enough, and oh, dang it. The net doesn't move fast enough, and so, and the controls with the, control stick don't help either. So this is one of the few things where I'd say the PS Vita probably did the best job with. There aren't many of those. Not that I'm throwing shade at the PS Vita itself, because the PS Vita was an awesome system. And it was only a commercial flop because Sony made it a commercial flop. They just didn't frickin' market it. That, and it was too powerful for its own good. No! Oh, god dang it! Oh! That is not fair!
You did it! You caught 200 pounds of fish! Not bad for a couple of landlubbers. Here's the power cell I promised. And you can use my boat at the village dock whenever you like.
What was that BS? An eel just pops up when I'm at 199. 199. Then I just one eel. I only had one fish to go. It didn't matter what it was. Then I just freaking I was talking about something before the fishing mission, but I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, I remember. I was talking about how, this isn't a game that necessarily has an upgrade system, or whatever, so, because, like, what you are at the beginning of the game is basically what you are at the end of the game. What you need in later locations is just there. So, I mean, I don't advise it at all. In fact, I scold against it. But I mean, you can go this game scraping bare minimum everything, but, one, you won't unlock the last cutscene that way, and two, like, and, you'll just, kind of be selling yourself short, because it's kind of, it's almost extra work that way. So, all in all, it's pretty pointless. You might as well, but, I mean, you don't have to. Oh no, spiked tentacle monster! Protect the schoolgirls! When you die through, either taking enemy damage or, if you land on a spike or something, Daxter will commentate over your death. And it's pretty funny. In other words, he basically will commentate over your death as long as the way in which you died didn't affect him. So say, you fall into a bottomless pit, or, the lurker shark eats you, or, something like that. As long as you don't die in one of those ways, Daxter will say something about how you died. Or rather, not necessarily about how you died, but just the fact that you died. And it's pretty funny. I think I said this earlier, or in my original recording, but I may have said it in part 1. That, Jak in the first game is a silent protagonist. This was during Naughty Dog's phase where they felt like characters with voices were either hard to get right or hard to relate to or whatever, in the player's perspective. I don't know what the heck they were thinking, but, it is what it is, I guess. Although, begs the question, why he can make all these grunts if he's a mute. All that Shaw business. Oh no! Oh no!
That looks like it hurt. Should I call for backup?
Daxter, the only characters that you could call for backup don't even appear until the second game. So, I don't know what you're talking about. This is one of the first games that I know of that actually had a day and night cycle. It's, you know, way back in 2001, 2002, like that wasn't a thing. Day and night cycles weren't things in video games. And I gotta say, the Jak franchise handled it beautifully.
We should go tell that windbag of a mayor that he owes us.
They handled it absolutely beautifully. So as much as I love the Jak and Daxter franchise, there's one thing that I must say didn't age all that well, and that is the game's checkpoint system, or I guess respawn system, because when you die, you have to have been you kind of die and respawn in a set location, so and a lot of the time what you did will end up resetting, and so you can get like pretty far in some areas, but or have like say some areas that are just hard to get to or whatever, or things or places where you think checkpoints should be but they aren't, and that'll lead to a lot of annoying backtracking in this game. So that's honestly one thing I will say about Precursor Legacy that didn't age all that well, and unfortunately that carried on into Jak 2 and 3. Well, at least for 2. I'm not so sure about 3. It's been a while. I'll let you know when we get there in the Let's Play. No. Let me down. Let me down. There we go. It boing. Oh. Never mind. I didn't boing. One thing that annoys me about a lot of walkthroughs or Let's Plays of any game, not just this one, but a lot of people, when they play a game, you know, they either get lost or they just forget what they're doing, or they get sloppy or whatnot, in terms of like walkthroughs that are meant to be more professional, not in terms of like blind Let's Plays. Those are okay, but a lot of the time you'll see instances where someone will get lost or wander around for way too long, and they either just won't know what they're talking about, or or something like that. And the problem is, this is coming from people who claim to know, you know, like, who claim to know these games. And, you know, that's something I want to avoid, and so that's why I actually did a practice run of the whole game, before I started this Let's Play. And dang, Daxter can moonwalk! But, anyway, so that's why I did a practice run, before I started this Let's Play, just to refresh my memory. And that's why, if something happens and I do screw up like I did earlier in this very video, I'm just gonna cut that out, because, like, no one wants to see that. No one wants to watch someone wander aimlessly through a game, and take up, you know, too much screen time or whatever. And that's also why I'm only really going to be doing giant vine tentacle monster! Protect the schoolgirls! Anyway, that's why, you know, you're gonna see cuts or whatever, if something happens like earlier in this very video, or, you know, generally I'm just gonna try and stay as focused as I can, because, you know, I want to make sure that, you know, this is a quality Let's Play. You know, I don't want to wander aimlessly. Alright, once you kill the giant vine creature, you want to ground pound on his head, I believe, 5 times, to get these Precursor orbs, because if you don't, you're gonna miss them. And, that's a no-no. That's what that is. That is a no-no. You don't want to do that. Alright, just one power cell left, and I believe I know where it is.
Step 1, stay alive. Step 2, think about not doing something like that again.
Okay, so what you want to do is you want to head down, and you're going to want to follow the river. Also, as you can see, the tentacles are now deformed and dead. Are those supposed to be, like, infant lurker sharks? But anyway, you want to follow the river. It'll take you where the last power cell is, and the remainder of the Precursor orbs. Then you dive by pressing square, just like how you jump in square. You're gonna let me. Boom. All right, guys. I'm gonna jump over to the mayor's hut, and after that, that's gonna be the end of the episode. So thank you guys for watching. This has been LSSJ Orange Lightning, and I'm out.
Oh, what a wonderful sight! I thank you. The entire village will thank me. Boys, you have restored power to the village and guaranteed my re-election. And for that, my boy, you earned a power